Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
My name is Mark Meyer, and I've been doing stand-up comedy for a few months now. The bulk of my experience has come in the Milwaukee, Wisconsin area, where I have been most of the summer, but I'm back here now for the school year. I'm a law student. I actually just got 1 year left. Thank you very much. Trying to establish my footing in the Twin Cities comedy scene. So in a lot of my stand-up comedy sets, I like to talk about U.S. presidential history, and that's what I'm going to talk about tonight. A particular vantage point I'm going to cover is a very niche question of an already niche subject matter, that being, which U.S. presidents were cringe? Now, what does cringe mean? Well, it's one of those terms like how the Supreme Court defines pornography. There's no set definition, no exact criteria, but you know it when you see it. Even so, I tried to be as objective and scientific as possible in my reasoning, and I made a little list here. And in my estimation, we have 27 presidents who were cringe or cringe adjacent. 27 out of 45, that's 60%, quite a few. Now I know some of you wieners in the audience might be thinking right now, we've had 46 presidents! Okay. Grover Cleveland served 2 non-consecutive terms, so he's counted as both the 22nd and the 24th, okay? Shut up. Now, that's actually a pretty good jumping off point though, because Grover Cleveland is pretty cringe. Grover Cleveland serving 2 non-consecutive terms, it's like, what the hell is that? 2 terms non-consecutively, that's like hitting a home run and a single one day, a double and a triple the next, and saying you hit for the cycle. You fucking did it. Moreover, the guy's name is Grover. And it's not like that name was forced upon him. That was his middle name, and he went by it willingly. He had a good friend whose name was Oscar, too. Yeah, I mean, sounds like we were really the Mickey Mouse country around that time, but anyway, he was also probably a rapist, but I don't have time to talk about all that. And I don't have time to talk about all 27 of these guys, of course, I only got 6 minutes, but 27 is a good jumping off point. Our 27th president was William Howard Taft, and he's pretty cringe, too. Now, for one thing, he's a one-termer, and one-termers are all cringe. Now, if you were a one-termer by choice, it could potentially go either way. If you're a one-termer because you got voted out of office, like Taft, you are cringe, without exception. So by that metric, our first cringe president would be John Adams, our second one would be John Quincy Adams, and that pains me to say that John Quincy Adams is actually my favorite president, but I gotta be consistent. I can't make exceptions just for him, and then, we got plenty of others. Martin Van Buren, Herbert Hoover. I know this might piss some of you off because it's Minneapolis, but Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter is cringe. Sorry, I gotta say it. Anyway, back to Taft. This guy was the only president to serve on the Supreme Court, but all he's remembered for today is being fat. A lot of people think that he got stuck in a bathtub, which didn't actually happen, but enough people believe it that it might as well be true at this point. Back on the note of cringiness running in the family, though, I talked about the John Adamses. Both George Bushes are pretty cringe, too. So George Herbert Walker Bush is a one-termer, so that already makes him cringe. But he's cringe for other reasons, too. I mean, this guy was one of those, pathological ladder climbers who was pretty much running for president his entire life. And he made all kinds of deals with the devils, committed all kinds of atrocities to ultimately get there. Ran the CIA, probably killed John F. Kennedy, other things. And he did all this ultimately to only serve 1 term. You committed all those atrocities for nothing, Poppy, sorry. As for his son, George W., I mean, this guy is cringe as a 2-term. That takes effort. I mean, you really had to fuck something up. Or in his case, literally everything. I mean, to illustrate this point, this dude was president on 9/11 and almost didn't win re-election. Talk about fumbling the bag. Okay, kind of on the note of cringiness running in the family, both Harrison presidents are very cringe. Of course, referring to William Henry and Benjamin Harrison. Benjamin Harrison, who the fuck is that? Exactly. And he's a one-termer to boot. Fuck him. And he served between the 2 Grover Cleveland terms. Imagine being so unmemorable that they replaced you with a guy named Grover, who was already president. Terrible. As for William Henry Harrison, you might not know him by name, but you might know him as the guy who died 30 days after he took office. Do I even have to elaborate here? I mean, that's pretty fucking embarrassing. A lot of people thought that for a long time he had died because of a case of pneumonia he had caught on his inauguration day. But now it's more widely believed that he was killed by dirty drinking water. Because at this time, Washington, D.C.'s drinking and sewage water were one and the same. So William Henry Harrison must have heard the phrase, eat shit and die, and taken it quite literally. Let's see, who else? Well, let's keep it a bit more contemporary. Donald Trump is pretty cringe, and he wasn't always. I mean, say what you will about him. There's a lot to say. You gotta admire the fact that he kinda ran for president as a joke, and won by accident. But everything he's done since then is very cringe. I mean, one-termer, obviously. And getting indicted too, like, as a president. Come on, like, the entire job is to commit crimes. So if you're the one guy they're singling out as needing to be held accountable for those crimes, you must be a real piece of shit. Anyway, unfortunately I can't call this guy cringe, but he sucks. I just want to take a moment to say, fuck Ronald Reagan. This is my Ronald Reagan voodoo doll with needles in it and everything. I mean, you can call him many things. You can't call him cringe, unfortunately, because he won 2 landslide elections and shaped American politics and his image for 40+ years. But still, fuck him, he sucks. You guys don't suck though. You've been great. Thank you very much.